Hello, folks. This is your friend Marshal Andy. Welcome to our YouTube program we call Marshal Andy and Friends, the Loudon Sessions. I hope you enjoy our show today, and many thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for joining us today, ladies and gentlemen, for episode number 16 of Marshal Andy and Friends, the Loudon Sessions. Today we're going to start out with a song that Marshal Andy wrote called Waffle House Queen. I don't know anything about it, but you do.
Well, it just came to me one time that I think something went viral on the internet, and it was about a man and a little girl. One cooked and one was a waitress, and they all of a sudden outside, the car started pulling up and people got up, dressed up and came out, and the guy that was cooking was getting off work and the waitress was coming on work. So they both went outside, took their aprons off, lined up, and here comes the preacher, and he married them in the parking lot. And it was in Calhoun, Georgia. Actually happened. I got the idea, so many romances have started, at least, at a romance of Waffle House for some reason. I don't know whether they just go there lonely or what it is, but that it's actually happened.
What year did you write this? Do you remember?
I'm not sure the exact year, but I think probably about 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago.
And we, of course, played with it on all of my radio shows and all, but I never got the release from the Waffle House company to actually release it, so I did not. And someday I might, and maybe I won't. It'll depend. It'll depend on that. I have so many people coming in wanting them to play it on the jukebox here. Really? It's not on the jukebox here.
I would have thought they wouldn't have any control over that. You can use public stuff in a song, I thought.
Not if you're writing about their company,
okay.
their own, let's say, retail commercial company, which that is, without their permission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to ruffle feathers.
And I don't think we would have gotten by with it. But it might have been criticized too by the people, and then I would have lost my contacts. Yeah. Anyway, that's the way the Waffle House Queen came about to me, and then I, as you know, frequented the Waffle House quite a bit.
And they were your sponsor for your decades.
Oh yeah, 40-something years, and also I wrote a lot of jingles about them during that time. And at one time, the only thing that I was really known for and about was the Waffle House jingle. And that's just followed me everywhere I've ever been until this day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's try to do this one together.
Yeah,
it's called My Waffle House Queen.
Yes, sir. All right.
I could tell by her look that she was sad all alone. I watched her work out her orders of delight. Hash browns, cups smothered, jumped with chili on the side. I fell in love with the Waffle House Queen. I found the girl of my dreams. I knew her and I loved her forever, it seemed. Yes, I fell in love with the Waffle House worked all night till the new break of dawn. I hated to see her go home all alone. She said, I have children, need my love all day. Thanks, but no thanks is all she ever would say. I fell in love with the Waffle House Queen.
I found the girl of my dreams. I knew her and I loved her forever it seems. Yes, I fell in love with the Waffle House Queen. Things went that way for another year or two. She finally said, I'll go out with you. Just keep me safe and my children by my side. And someday I promise to be your Waffle House bride. I fell in love with the Waffle House Queen. I found the girl of my dreams. I knew her and I loved her forever it seems. Yes, I fell in love with the Waffle House Queen.
I fell in love with a Waffle House Queen. My Waffle House Queen.
The next song we're going to do today, ladies and gentlemen, is called Have You Ever Been Lonely, written by Peter DeRose and Billy Hill. Billy Hill also called himself George Brown. That don't make any sense at all, does it?
No.
That's what it is. Written in 1932, been covered by Jim Reeves, Patsy Cline, Ernest Tubb, Buddy Holly, Jim Ed Brown, and you were saying your brother sung it one time on a porch or something.
That's right, but Jim Ed Brown was the last known person to sing the song.
Okay.
Recording it, yes.
Okay.
When in 1934, I was 5 years old, and I was sitting on the front porch on a Sunday morning, and I was on the back side of the porch, and he was up on the front. My brother, 10 years older than me, named Tommy, 10 years older, he had a date. See, I was like 4 or 5 years old,
Okay.
and he was dating by that time. He had a date up on the other end of the porch, and he didn't think I was anywhere near him, but I heard him say this. He was singing. Actually, he could play the guitar a little bit.
Okay.
He was playing the guitar, and he was singing a song called Have You Ever Been Lonely?
Okay.
It just came out there. See, so
This
that's
is 34.
In
Okay.
1934.
All right.
All right. That song was on, and back in those days, it was called Hillbilly. I don't care what anybody says to me. I lived it, I went it, I know it. It was hillbilly music. There was no such thing as country music back then. There was no such a thing as country western music back then. It was hillbilly music. That's what it was known as. And people separated themselves and tried to live on a higher scale than to know that their friends thought that they listened to hillbilly music.
If you listen to hillbilly music, they thought you were beneath them or
Absolutely,
something.
and that's why Nashville today is where it is, and Knoxville is where it is musical-wise.
Okay.
We had a much bigger start on the musical industry, the way it all turned out, because so many stars and people coming from East Tennessee, and people coming through here to get on our radio to make it to Nashville. That's what happened. But they didn't, the higher up echelon in this country, I mean in this town, did not want to be associated with country music.
That has changed so much because I have a lot of customers who are from other states and they're wealthy. And they love country music.
You know why? It was reintroduced when all of a sudden they found out it was an art form instead of a gangster picture.
Well, it was Hank Williams that kind of bumped it up, wasn't it?
Hank Williams was, to me, the guy who brought country music out of the closets. It was okay if he was doing it for you to come out and say yes, instead of saying, well, somebody's been, I just sent my car to the car wash and the guy in there would change my radio station. I don't listen to this.
Oh, yeah.
That went on all the time.
Okay.
I know, you know, I was there.
Okay.
I was born in 1929, right in the middle when all of this stuff started to happen. And country music was mountain music that came from Ireland and also
Scotland, probably.
Scotland, oh yes, and some English.
Yeah.
That was the people that brought that music here, And when you see old movies done, like even in Gone with the Wind, they were doing the Virginia Reel, the dance, that came straight from Ireland. The Virginia Reel with the fiddle mountain playing that they brought with us to this country that created in the Appalachian areas of our country here. But yeah, that's the way that it started. So, have you ever been lonely? Is what we were talking about,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we got on a tangent, didn't we? That's all right.
Have you ever been lonely? It goes all the way back to those days when now individuals started singing this music. It becomes known as country music. They didn't know what else to call it.
So was your brother, did he have his date on the front porch? He was serenading, or he was just singing it to himself, practicing?
He was singing it to her.
To her. He was serenading his little
and that
girl.
struck in
Okay.
my mind at 5 years old.
Okay.
And I've never forgotten it. And I love the song, and let's do it now.
Okay. Now, didn't the powers that be over in Nashville, didn't they take the Jim Reeves version of Patsy Cline and somehow combine it?
Well, start with, Jim Reeves did the song first.
Okay.
And when he died, Patsy Cline did the song. Then she died. They put the two of them together through our modern day electronics
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
They can do anything now with this AI, they call it. But today, they put this together and it went on to become a #1 song.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, and now it's played now
Okay.
on what they call country music stations, but they call it classic country music.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, it's being played again now.
You said Eddie Arnold did it.
But Eddie Arnold also did it because Eddie did, I don't know where it landed in the top 10 or not. I don't even know where it landed, period. But he and I talked together about so many songs. This is his kind of song.
What song? What year? Let me see. What year was it? You remember when he recorded it?
When Eddie recorded
Yeah.
it, it would have been in 1946 or 7.
Okay.
46 or 47.
Okay. Just to change gears a little bit about Eddie Arnold. Do you remember why? Did Eddie Arnold ever tell you why it was they recorded Cattle Call in E flat, which is a piano key, which is a crazy odd key?
It is, yeah.
Why did they do that? Did he ever tell you, talk about it?
It came from a fellow named Tex Owens out of
Okay.
Kansas City who had written a song and had it on at the air. There wasn't many people that could get songs on the radio back in those days. You know, there was, of course, Jimmy Rogers and people like that. Not Roy Rogers now, Jimmy Rogers and people like that. And, of course, a lot of these early performers did things, getting things on real early before anybody else even called it country music or anything else, or hillbilly or anything else. But that particular song that Tex Owens wrote didn't have what Eddie Arnold called a middle part. And he's
Okay.
talking about the bridge of the song. But you break away from your verses and go into a bridge
Yeah.
to bridge your song back into the verses so you can start back over again.
You'd be talking about, he's brown as a berry from
Yes,
riding the
that-
prairie. That
that's
would be
the
the
bridge.
part they put in later.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good example of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right, when he did that, there was a songwriting group in Nashville, a publishing company owned by Fred Rose and Roy Acuff. And this guy, somehow or other, I don't know how he managed to come from Kansas City, Tex Owens, but he got that song into their hands in Nashville. It did not have, as Eddie said, a middle part. So Fred Rose, that he called a song doctor, he said he could fix any song, no matter what it was.
Okay.
Fred Rose, now he was a partner to Roy Acuff in their publishing company. All right, then Fred Rose takes this song, and the first person they went to record it was Eddie Arnold, and that's where Cattle Call came from.
But the whole E flat thing, it was probably Fred Rose's idea for whatever
idea
reason.
that he wanted it to be in E flat simply because something Eddie Arnold told me later that he learned from working with Fred and all those genius people, that first of all, get a song that you like, that you got a good song going. And secondly, make sure you got it in the right key.
Okay. He just thought E flat was a proper key for that song.
He says, make that bell ring.
Okay.
He's talking about, hear that tone. That's what he meant by make the bell ring.
And E flat made it ring.
He made it ring, and that's when they hit it. And Fred, I guess, Fred Rose was the guy that came up with the key, and said, Eddie, that's your key. That's
Okay.
where you need to sing this song. No, forget about every other song you've ever sung. This is your key for this song.
Okay. So that's what they did. They all had to tune their instruments appropriately.
Surely, I hate that I hope.
You and I did it indeed.
Yeah, but I hope that I answered your question.
You did. But anyway, getting back to Have You Ever Been Lonely?
Have you ever been lonely? My brother
Yeah.
singing to his sweetheart on the front porch.
All right. You ready to try it?
That's right.
Let's go.
Have you ever been lonely? Have you ever been blue? Have you ever loved someone as I love you?
Can't you see I'm sorry for each mistake I've made? Can't you see that I've changed, dear? Can't you see I've paid? Be a little forgiving, taking me back in your heart. How can I go on living now that we're apart? If you knew what I've been through, then you would know why I ask you, have you ever been lonely? Have you ever been blue? Be a little forgiving, take me back in your heart. How can I go on living now that we're apart? If you knew what I've been through, then you would know why I ask you, have you ever been lonely? Have you ever been blue? Have you ever been lonely? Have you ever been blue? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know you've heard of Ray Price. Ray Price wrote a song called, he didn't write it, but he performed it. I Can See You With My Eyes Closed is actually written by Larry Sebastian in 2006. It was recorded by Con Hundley and Ray Price on the album called Beauty Is the Final Sessions. And you were saying this is one he was desperate about doing or something like that?
Well, you've got to remember, Eddie Arnold was the first guy to start out taking pure country music and moving it, what they call, to crossover, or going more to contemporary sounds and playing with orchestrations and playing with really big-time music. And Ray Price got to thinking he had the voice. Not all country music people can do this, but he had the voice that could do that kind of music, like Bing Crosby or Perry Como or Eddie Arnold. Eddie Arnold knew the same thing, and they did it. Most of the time it was the Italian singers, you know, Dean Martin and those people, Tony Bennett and
Frank
those.
Sinatra, yeah.
But all of those people did that because it was a thing. Back in those days, a songwriter didn't just go right out and do songs. He came through a band. The band would do a recording and feature a singer on one of the recordings, and then somebody would play that on the radio, and that's how Bing Crosby, who was with Paul Whiteman for years to start with, in 1931 to 1935, to hear that, and then all of a sudden, here comes another singer popping up out of another band, Frank Sinatra. I
Okay.
just use him from the Tommy Dorsey band, even though he started with Harry James. But it's just those kind of things. And by the way, the guy that replaced Frank Sinatra is Ken Curtis, who plays Festus on Gunsmoke.
That freaked some people out if they knew that.
Well, that's the true story, but he also was one of the Sons of the Pioneers, which was headed by and created by Roy Rogers for the Republic Pictures. You knew that. And of course, he was at Columbia on the contract when Roy got his start. After Gene went in service, Gene Autry, then they hired Roy, and then Roy brought the band from Columbia, who had been over there, the Sons of the Pioneers. He brought them, and Gabby, and of course Dale Evans ended up there too. All of them, when his contract ran out at Republic, and had to renew it, and he renewed it with those people because they were available then. And of course, they stayed together all the way up right to television. And right before that, I think it was Riders of the Purple Sage was the name of the musical group that took their place on television. But Gene Autry and Roy Rogers both had a lot to do with singers that just popped up out of nowhere. And they were both country singers too. They weren't Western singers, they were country singers that became Western cowboys. But Ray Price wanted to do several songs before he died in the style of Bing Crosby, Perry Como, and those type people. And these were the ones that he did that this album was on. And of course we're going to do that. I Can See You With My Eyes Closed. I don't know why Con Hunley did it or when he did it, but I do know this. After I lost my wife, this is when this came out at the same time, and after I lost her, I saw what they were talking about. I can see you with my eyes closed. And I sang the song, a part of it, I didn't sing all of it, in memory of her on the radio one day.
Interesting. That's, yeah.
What
That's
else?
all, that's all. So we're gonna do this now, and
Let's do it.
we're gonna start out, you're gonna start with the chorus first, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I can see you with my eyes closed. I can hold you in my arms. I can see you with my eyes closed. Who says that love is blind?
I can see your laughing eyes lighting up the night around you. I can see the shadows dance around those moments that we shared. I can see the soft blush cross your face the way it did the first time. And I can feel you tremble as I take your hand and lead you up the stairs.
I can see you with my eyes closed. I can hold you in my arms. I can see you with my eyes closed. Who said that love is blind?
I can see you standing in my dreams, reaching out to touch me. I can see the silver glow of moonlight halo in your hair. I can hear the silken sound of nightgown falling down around you. And if God would only grant the right to turn back time, I'd turn and find you there.
I can see you with my eyes closed.
final song for tonight, folks, is a song called Fraulein, recorded by Bobby Helms. I don't remember who wrote it, but it's about German girls during World War II.
During World War II, when our soldiers left to go over there and take up that war against Hitler, we just didn't ever think about them going, what they felt about going to a new world where they didn't speak the language, nothing, but yet love wins out, and sometimes you don't have to know the language, it takes care of it itself. Anyway, they brought back these women. Many of them married them and brought them back to the United States.
Oh, yeah.
And not only just in Germany with Fraulein, which happens to mean German, it's a beautiful girl, pretty girl. It really came from every war that we ever fought overseas. There was always a girl in that place that they fell in love with and brought back. Some of it ended tragically and didn't go on to be anything great, but many, many true love stories became wonderful love lives and brought about a lot of beautiful families as a result of that coming back.
Yeah, some of the guys brought home Vietnamese girls and
they did.
Filipino girls and Korean girls from South Korea or whatever.
All of it, and of course there's a big, real question about Korea and that war and the whole way that we got out of that. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But there's always, love will win in the end, they say. Maybe that's it. Go ahead.
That's it. All right. Fraulein by Bobby Helms. Far across deep blue water, there's an old German squatter by the banks of the old river Rhine, where I loved her and left her, but I can't forget her. I miss my pretty Fraulein. Fraulein, Fraulein, look up to the heaven each night when the stars start to shine. By the same stars above you, I swear that I love you. I miss my pretty Fraulein. Memories wander away over yonder to the sweetheart that I left behind. In a moment of glory, a face comes before me, the face of my pretty Fraulein. Fraulein, walk down by the river, pretend that your hand is holding mine. By the same stars above you, I swear that I love you. You are my pretty Fraulein. You are my pretty Fraulein. All right. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, for episode number 16 of Marshal Andy and Friends, the Loudon Sessions. We had a good one today, didn't we?
We really did. I enjoyed it very much. Some stories going and
Yeah.
really good songs.
It didn't turn out the way we thought it was going to. We thought we were going to have a special guest today, but that didn't work out.
Well,
Things happen.
We'll work about it, but they'll come back at another time.
Yeah, we'll get them rescheduled.
We always get them rescheduled.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people that have been here before that want to come back. And then we've had some people scheduled that just things came up and they couldn't make it. But we will have them back and a whole lot more.
Well, life happens, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yep. Well, anyway, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. And until next time.
Remember this, folks. If you don't wear a white hat, please wear a smile so we can tell you from the bad guy.